Hey guys, Gathering Magic back again, and did a video yesterday going over market prices for cards, singles, and for packs. Got a lot of positive responses, positive reviews, so people looking forward to the series going forward, so appreciate that very much. I had one commenter ask the question, hey, just rather than just bronze, are there any good deals in silver? Like what kind of cheap cards can I pick up if I want to build a good silver deck? So let's go over that today. Let's look at cards because that's what I play on my main account is I mainly play in silver. So first thing I want to do is if you're looking for cheap cards, look no further than Chaos Legion. So let's take a look at Chaos Legion. Let's not look at Rift Watchers just yet. And for commons, you can get up to level 5 for silver. So let's look at level 5 cards and see what kind of prices we have, what kind of abilities these things have. Now, one of the most powerful cards, I think, for the reward cards that was given away before they went soulbound was the Pelacor Mercenary. So it only has one ability, but the flying is huge, especially in Earthquake rule sets. But 3 damage, decent speed, you throw flying on top of that, it's a little bit harder to hit. That all-important just 1 armor just to take that first hit, and then a good amount of hit points. So for a level 5, you're looking at, what, 48 cents? So great card to have if you don't have it already for silver. Probably right up there 1-2 for the reward cards as far as more bang for your buck is the Pelacor Bandit. I mean, everyone knows about this card, but at level 5, sneak, flying, 2 damage, 4 speed, decent amount of health, great for Little League. The only downside I see with the Mercenary is you can't play it in Little League with that 7 mana. It's a little bit pricey. But the Pelacor Bandit for 3 mana is just overall a great card. And water is such a popular splinter anyway that people play. So you're going to see the Pelacor Bandit a lot. But, to get it to level 5, to get that 2 damage, that extra health is huge. So definitely a good card to get to level 5. And you're looking, again, right around 50 cents. One of my favorites that I picked up, I don't know why, I just love picking up the Vampire Bat. I think I have 5 max copies of this card. I don't know why, I just love this card. Very similar to the Pelacor Bandit. As far as 3 mana, I mean, look at the stats. They look at as just mirror copies of each other. The only difference is the Vampire Bat doesn't get sneak. The one thing the Vampire Bat does get at higher levels is it gets dodge, so it's harder to hit. So if you're looking at silver, almost 2 identical cards. Like I said, the big downfall of Vampire Bat is it doesn't have sneak, which really hinders its gameplay. But the thing is, it's a decent card, and it is in a different splinter. So, if you're looking for playing Earth, if you have some of those rule sets where melee can attack from anywhere, Vampire Bat and silver is a great choice. Pelacor Conjurer, another one you want to get to level 4 at least to get that Magic Reflect. 2 mana can fit in any deck. Rule sets where you can't play melee, this card is great. Throw it in the front. It's hard to hit. It's annoying. Plus you throw that Magic Reflect in there. Great card to have. You could also put it in the back as Sneak Protect. So these first 4 cards I would say for silver are just great. These 2 I'm not big on. Pelacor Deceiver, kind of an overlooked card. Once again, good speed, flying, decent hit points. Just that 5 mana cost, I think, is what prevents more people from using it, because you can't use it in Little League, but overall a great card. Another good one that I like is Murd Hamper, to get the Life Leech and the Cripple. 2 damage, Little League, decent speed and health, so another great card. Crypt Beetle, probably one that people don't play a whole lot, but once you get it to level 5 for 3 mana to get 2 attack, speed's a little bit slow, but remember, this thing has shield, so this might take 2 hits, not just 1. So it's a nice little card as a filler card if you have a low mana match. If you have this at level 5, if it's low mana, you may even throw this in the front. Put some of your Life Leech guys right behind it. So decent card. It's up to you, but this for its value for what it gives you to get a level 5 card for 72 cents, I think is pretty good. Another good card for silver is a Lava Spider with that 2 damage for only 3. With Snipe, decent speed and health. A lot of great cards, as you can see in Chaos Legion. This is another one I use a lot. Shadow Snitch fits in Little League. 2 damage, reach, 6 health. Radiated Brute is a great card um, to pair with Tarsa, because that's going to give you 4 damage for only 5 mana with reach. So decent speed, another great card. Venari Scout, I love the opportunity ability, so to get that for only 3 mana and to be able to do 2 damage, and especially for this, you would think this is more of a fire card. Earth really doesn't, I think, focus as much on melee as some of the other splinters. So to be able to do that, especially if you pair it with an all-magic lineup, and you throw this in there too, to kind of go after his healer, or some annoying card that he has on the other side with low mana, I think this might be a good overlook card. Crystal Smith, of course, I think is a must-have. If you're playing life, to be able to get the heal, 2 range damage is just icing on the cake. And once again, it fits in Little League, Antoid Platoon, similar to the Crypt Beetle, just a little bit better, a little bit stronger. Yeah, it does cost 1 mana more, but you're getting that 1 extra health that gives a little more survivability. Gargoyle Devil, once it gets to a higher level, you've got that. Well, once we get into the rares, let's go down to 4. Because they don't all get abilities. Okay, so level 4 is the max for silver. So Gargoyle Devil, I love getting that death blow. So that's a great card to have. Some of these are okay. I don't play Dragon a whole lot. Twilight Basilisk looks alright. Infiltrator, this is another very strong card. Getting that double strike and sneak with 2 damage. If you can get this to level 4, that's a great card. And look at that, you can do that for under $1. So this is another card. I think if you play Dragon, this is a must-have for the Little League. If you're playing a Dragon in your Silver League, yeah, go ahead and grab this card, get it to level 4, start doing 2 damage twice, and watch how fast this thing kind of plows through the back line of the enemy team. Wavesmith, I like getting the Wavesmith to 4 to get that second magic damage. Venari Bonesmith, another great card under $1 to get that poison. That's one card I use all the time for my death team. Angelic Mandarin, maybe a lot of people don't know this. Once you get to level 4, you get a triage, which is huge. I don't think a lot of people know that. A lot of people only have this at level 1, 2, or 3. And, if you play in low silver, and it just has, the 1 range damage, you're like, oh, well, 6 health is okay, but, don't really need this card. Get it to level 4, get that triage. Now you've got a second healer. This heals your back line, so I think this could be a very good overlook card for your silver deck, is check out the Angelic Mandarin. And another card that gets its ability, gets its Amplify at level 4, is a Venari Spellsmith. So this is another card where people are like, well, it's nice, it's Little League, it's neutral, yeah, I can throw a little magic damage in my deck. But yeah, if you can throw the Amplify, especially if you're playing this on your death deck, and you've got the Curse Windico, this is going to give it, 1 extra Thorns damage, so just something to think about. At $1.25, this is very reasonable to get a level 4 card for, $1.25. What are some other great cards to get? Time Mage. Love the Time Mage with the slow. At 4, it gets its second attack. And of course, probably the main one is the Slip Spawn. You get the Slip Spawn to level 4, and you get the Force Field. So this is definitely one that you want to do, and it's for under $2, so you can't beat it. Then depending on what you consider like, cheap, you can start looking at some of these other cards. Of course, your Summoners are going to be your most expensive. Don't know why Thaddeus Brute is at 31. As you can see, the other ones are a little bit less pricey. Looking at $7 or whatever to get max silver Summoners. But that's for Chaos Legion. So those are some good cards to look at. As far as like epics go, I'm not sure exactly what your budget is. Epics, I think you get level 3 for max silver. So I'm trying to see if there's anything that jumps out at me. Don't really need this at level 3, but I love the Revealer for the stun. Tidebiter, I think let me check Tidebiter. I don't know if it's level 2 or 3 he gets that reflect. Okay, so it is level 3. So you're going to want your Tidebiter at level 3 to get the reflection shield. So that is definitely another one to look at. So let's look at level 3 again. Yep, definitely Tidebiter to get that reflection shield. There's a lot of times, especially in blast rule sets, where I'll put, your tank up front and then put the Tidebiter right behind it with that reflection shield. So that's definitely something to look at. Forgotten one. I mean, yeah, this is more pricey, so this really isn't for cheap silver, but to get that Retaliate is huge. So if you're just looking at cards like, a buck or a couple of bucks, I would say probably the main one that you want to look at to max out is the Tidebiter to get that reflection shield. And after that, of course, is legendaries. For silver, is there any cheap legendaries? For legendaries, you can get to level 2 for silver. One of the cards I use all the time is Lure of the Dark, especially in rule sets where you can't play melee. This is nice to be able to still be able to do opportunity even though you can't do melee. And a lot of teams don't expect you to hit anything other than the front position unless you have snipe or something like that. But I love using Lure of the Dark, and for under $3 for a level 2 legendary, I think that's pretty good. Oceanus, I think you have to get that to level 2 for silver, just for the phase. That's going to make such a huge difference in your team. Heartclaw to get the immunity, of course, is another great one to have. And then you start getting more pricey. So River Hallandale, I love that too, getting that to level 2 max silver to get that Inspire. But let's concentrate more on the commons and the rares. So now let's look at Rift Watchers, one of my personal favorites. So for Rift Watchers, let's look at level 5 for the commons. So, some of the cards that I love, even though I don't have all these at level 5 yet, let's take a look at the Thug. I don't think he has to be level 5 to get, oh, he does, okay. So if you want to spend a little bit of money and get level 5, you can get Trample. And the nice thing is that it's Trample from the second position, so that is huge. So like I said, if you have the money, and you're looking at $6.50, so not quite as cheap as the Chaos cards, of course. When you start getting into Rift Watchers, these cards, as you can see, they were a lot more rare, so they're a lot pricier. And this is just for commons. So this is just to get a max common in Rift Watchers. And look at the price here. So this isn't exactly cheap, but just some good cards to pick up. I mean, even if you're not going to max it out, let's look at level 3. One of the cards I love getting is Ash Mirage, just for that headwinds. So that is definitely one that you want to pick up. But like I said, Chaos or Rift Watchers, you're not going to find as good a deals or as cheap a cards. One thing that I think people might overlook, if you're looking for cheap cards, you may not think about this, but check out Beta. Let's just look at Beta Core and Reward. So, and let's look at level, well, first thing I want to show you guys, for Silver, now normally you need, 60 copies to max Silver? You only need 25. You need less than half the amount to get a max Silver card if you're looking for Beta. So don't let some of these prices fool you. But let's look at level 5. So you're looking, $3, $4, $5 for a Beta card. And remember, the Beta card is also going to give you a bonus in ranked play. So not only does it take less copies to get a max silver card, you're also going to get, I believe it's a 5% bonus for using a Beta card. So some decent cards here. Baby Unicorn, strengthen your team. Grumpy Dwarf, he is Little League, decent stats, hits from the second position, and has Enrage. So I don't know if I own this card or not, but I just saw this card and thought, this is a decent card, and it's for under $4. Spineback Wolf has Thorns and Reach from the second position. The only thing I don't like is that 5th mana. Creeping Ooze, definitely don't need it level 5. You just need 1 copy of it, and you're good to go to get that slow. And then you start getting a little more pricey. But like I said, remember, you are going to get a bonus using these in ranked play, and sometimes just having a couple copies is enough. If you don't want to go level 5 for these cards, go level 3. It'll make it a little bit more affordable. As you can see, the prices come down here, and you still get most of the abilities that they had. So, I mean, even like the Wood Nymph, getting this heal. So what does it get between level 3 and level 5? Between 3 and 5, it gets one more speed and one more health. So depending on your budget and how important that one extra health or one extra speed is, you know, it's a decent card to pick up, even at level 3. You know, for $1.50, you're going to get, you know, a healer for your team. Sea Monster, I love. Even one BCX of this, I think the main difference 1 to 3 is it gets one more health and one more speed. But once again, $1.50 for a great card if you're playing in Wild. Cobalt Miner, I love that card. Goblin Sorcerer, another great card to have simply because it's sneak and it's magic. So in those rule sets where you can't do melee, it's nice being able to throw him in. Centaur, another great card, you know, under $2. Very good speed. It's got that snipe ability, and you can throw it in any deck. Of course, the healer. When the healer hits, you know, level 3, you start doing some magic damage. So this is another great card to have. Flesh Golem has really come down in price. I can remember when this was like 2 to 3 BCX each. So now if you can get a level 3, get that heal, 10 hit points for under $3, this might be a very good card to add to your silver deck, especially if you play Earth. You're going to want a Flesh Golem, and it's very affordable now. One of the cards I use all the time in Splinter Forge to give me that Inspire bonus is the Silver Shield Knight. It's a little bit high, you know, 6 mana, but to be able to give that Inspire, so this thing's basically doing 3 damage, 4 speed, it's a very good card to have. This used to be a lot more expensive as well. $3 is not bad. Crustacean King, you know, a little over $3. You're looking at 1 range damage along with the heal. So a lot of great cards that you can get. So definitely check out Beta. Let's look at some of the rares. Okay, cards that I think are good to get. Water Elemental, definitely, for the heal. And look at that damage. I mean, yeah, it's 5 mana, but still, you can throw this in a lot of different decks, and you could be doing a lot of damage. And put this in the back, even if it gets hit with Sneak, you know, may be able to heal itself. Silver Shield Assassin, I remember when this card was a lot more expensive. Again, another card with double strike and sneak, you know, 2 damage. It's a little bit more pricey than the Dragon card, but still, great card to throw in. One of those annoying life sneak decks. I'm sure you've come up against this probably in Silver if you play in Wild. Another card that I love to play, the Pirate Archer with that blast. In 2 mana, you can throw it in just about any deck. What are some other good cards to get? The Undead Priest. Once you get the Undead Priest to 3, he gets a magic damage. So very affordable to throw in any deck. Weaken your opponent and do a little bit of damage. That's a great card. And then after that, you start getting more pricey. So I think probably for cheap cards, for Silver, last thing you want to look at is Untamed. So for Untamed, let's start off just looking at level 5 just to see what we have. Now these, you need 14 copies, I know, to get max bronze. And I think this goes back to where you need 60. Yep. So another reason I love Beta so much, like I said, 25 cards to get to max silver as opposed to 60 cards that you need when you start hitting Untamed in the newer sets. But anyway, let's look at max silver. Let's look at what you can get. Wave Runner, decent card. You know, 5 mana, wish it was 4. Good damage, very good speed, hits from the second position, and has knockout. So if you play, I can't remember the name of the card, there's the new blue card in Rift Watchers that does a stun. So if you use that card, this one hitting from the second position, it's going to be hitting for 6 damage. Giant Scorpion, nice little card for Little League that has thorns. So if you don't have the Curse Wendigo, you know, you can throw this in the front. It's got a couple armor. Get that for under $3. So not as many cards in Untamed, at least at max level, really jump out at me. Yeah, you know, as being, you know, good value, being cheap. There's a lot of good cards to have, But when you start getting into the $6, is it really worth it? $6 just to do 2 sneak damage? No, not really. So let's look next at rare and look at level 4 because that's max silver. See if there's anything here that kind of jumps out at me. I like the eagle, but I don't like it at level 4. Not for $5. For that, it's better at lower levels. Even level 2, I think you're doing 2 damage. Is there anything that looks great? And of course, too, look at the prices. You start getting $6, $7 for max silver. So I would say if you are looking for max cheap cards for silver, definitely Chaos Legion is pretty obvious. But make sure for Chaos Legion that you are looking for rares at level 4 because some of them get those abilities like I mentioned. So definitely check out Chaos Legion and look at Beta. I think Beta has a lot of good cards that you can get. At least to me, they're kind of surprisingly cheap. So my two suggestions would be check out Chaos Legion, check out Beta, and then depending on your budget, I think you can get some very good additions to your silver deck. Let's end the video looking at the new set Rebellion. Is there any good cards here that are super cheap? Time will tell. I haven't play tested a lot of Rebellion yet. I have a few cards, but let's look at commons, regular. Let's look at common. And let's look at level 5, see if there's anything that kind of jumps out. Well, for one thing, there's not a lot available on the market. But look at these prices. This is a common. Level 5, and it's $23. So these, I think you're just going to have to look at level 1 and then just make your decisions from there. So you're looking at basically 6 cents for a single copy. And then once you hit the summoners, you're 40 cents plus, basically. So for these, for the commons, the thing is, once again, it's going to take 60 cards to level these things up. So you're basically going to want to multiply this by 60. So you're looking at 360 for the cheapest card to get max silver. And this could be up to like, what, 25, almost $30 for some of the summoners. So don't consider that cheap, but for silver, remember you don't have to have 60 copies. You want to get at least 14 to be able to be max bronze, so you're not getting a penalty playing in silver with 2 low level cards. So for like a card like this, that's 25 cents. You're looking at 350. So just look at the 25-cent cards and lower and figure, okay, I'm going to have to spend at least 350 to get this to max bronze, so I won't get a penalty to play in silver. So of these cards, I like the Overseer for that flank ability, being neutral. Yes, he's super pricey, but don't overlook this card. This card is actually pretty powerful. The Magician, anytime you can get a tank heal and a little bit of damage right off the bat is great. I use this card a lot for my death team. I love the 2 damage right off the bat at level 1. Some of the 2 mana cost cards I think are pretty powerful. I just haven't play tested them enough to know how good they are yet. I like the Chaos Rear Guard, just having that built-in shield being like perfect for a Little League right off the bat. There's some good cards, and of course I love these 2 just having the dodge, putting these range guys in the back. I mean, you can see they're basically identical. The only difference is this one has 1 less speed. So I thought that was kind of funny, where their stats are exactly the same, except for some reason life is 1 point slower than water. But definitely some bargains that you can get in Rebellion. And remember, as more people open packs, these prices are probably going to drift a little bit lower. And then some of the ones that are seen to be powerful or underpriced are going to trend higher. But for the most part, the ones here that are the cheapest are probably going to stay the cheapest. And then some of these ones that are in the middle, if people are like, hey, this one is actually really good and useful, it starts drying up and the price starts going up. So it's up to you, depends on your budget. But yeah, I would say definitely check out Chaos Legion and the Chaos Legion reward cards. Check out Beta, and then see if you can get a deal here in Rebellion. So that's all I have for you in this video. Thank you again for asking the question about silver. I think a lot of people are interested in building a silver deck. Like I said, that's the main deck that I play in. The main league is silver. So thank you again for the question. And as always, if you guys have any other questions or content that you're looking for from the channel, please let me know, and I will make a video or answer your question as soon as I can. And as always, guys, remember, just stay the course, keep on forging, and definitely have fun. We'll see you again soon. Take care.